Hey guys, Mindy Brouse here, FE Director with Master Artists. This is my favorite 6 weeks. Okay, today we're doing something a little different. I have substituted Wyeth for Jacob Lawrence, and that's because I wanted to have a male artist of color in our series. So Jacob Lawrence, I want you to look him up, tutors. We'll talk about it at meeting, but look up Jacob Lawrence. He's the most widely acclaimed African-American artist of the century. He is known for his abstract realism and his social realism, especially the Migration of the Negro series. So you will have pieces, examples in class. And again, first thing you'll do is introduce his name, Jacob Lawrence, and explain that he is a Black man and he really liked to depict the Black culture and the Black neighborhoods, and it's really different and wonderful. So I want you to have the pieces. You'll have one other one that my printer didn't print out, but anyway, you'll have these. Draw out observations. What do you see? Okay. Then I want you to compare and help them remember Grandma Moses. And what did Grandma Moses do? She told stories. She was a folk artist. She told stories of rural white America, farm life, right? And the difference here, right, that we can see different types of storytelling and different stories being told, all right? Draw out observations, color use. He uses muted tones a lot and very bold though, okay? So lots of big strokes, lots of great painting. Now, he's a painter, not a collage artist, but we are gonna do a collage, and I'll show you that in a minute. All right, so draw out your observations. Keep saying Jacob Lawrence, Jacob Lawrence, Jacob Lawrence, so they learn the name. And yeah, all right, so the project we're going to do for Jacob Lawrence is a collage of a cityscape, so that we have at the end of our 6 weeks a rural landscape and a city landscape. All right, so just like Grandma Moses painted, and we did it a little differently with oil pastels and watercolors, we're going to go ahead and do collages. So we're going to end up with something similar to this. It'll be bigger. My larger paper hasn't come in, but it'll be 12 by 18 piece, so they can get a little bit more on there. We're going to have 3 steps. Okay, so the first, you'll talk about him. Okay, then you're going to look at the buildings in his paintings, and you're going to help them see all the different height and levels and layers and all of that. And we're going to make or choose. We're going to either cut or choose our buildings. Then we're going to practice place them, and then we're going to glue them, and then we're going to add details. Okay. All right, so for the younger 3 classes, I have cut out for you buildings. Okay, so the kids will get to choose buildings, and you're going to tell them we're going to want to layer them. And do you see 4 buildings in a row that are brown? No, look, we have red and yellow and brown. Okay, and they will get to choose their buildings, and so you'll have them do that. All right, so let's say they want a big one, and they're going to start placing it on their paper. All right, and you're going to show them that it needs to be layered. All right, you can do one, of course. I encourage you. All right, so they're going to layer it, have buildings going up and higher and all of those things. They can have more than one color of a building, of course, but not, they don't want to have them right by each other. All right, reminder, this is not a creative art project in the sense the kid can do whatever they want. We're directing the teaching and the learning to imitate Jacob Lawrence. Remind them when they go home, they can do a whole different style if they want. All right, but so we need layers, and we don't want to have colors right by each other. All right, so for the younger kids, that's what they'll do. You'll help them, they'll choose, okay? So we'll pause that. For the older kids, they are going to cut out their buildings in class and share. So Each student will have kind of a little stack of tissue paper, and you're gonna walk them through cutting a building, just like a snowflake kind of thing. And then they'll share their pieces. They'll do probably 3 and then share them, and then they'll layer and glue. All right, so reminder, you only wanna spend probably 15 minutes on this part, and then 15 minutes on the gluing and adding details. Okay, so for the older kids, get going. You may want to show them how to cut and then talk about Jacob a little bit while they're cutting. All right, so I'm going to walk you through one just so you know. All right, so let's pretend this is going to be the height of my building. So I'm just going to fold it. And they have scissors in their bags, and they're going to cut some windows. All right, it's going to be a big mess, but that's okay. We can vacuum this up easily. No big deal. You should see my floor in my dining room right now. It's a mess. All right, so there's some windows. Then we're going to fold it again. Okay. Now, the younger 3 classes are not doing this, okay? Just the older 3. And also, you can have parents cutting too, okay? So everybody in class should be cutting some buildings to make for the collages together. Okay. So now I have 3. Now I have 2. I'm going to do 1 more. Okay, so then I have a building, all right? But I don't just have 1, I have 3, okay? So they can share them. And then just put it on the floor, we'll vacuum it up later. All right, so they can do that with all the different colors that you're going to have. You're gonna have a variety of colors. I'm gonna show you one more because I want you to make sure to remember that they should not all look the same. All right, we want them to be various styles, and various window heights, things like that. So let's say this one is going to be pointed at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to start doing my windows. Now, the other thing about these collage buildings is they aren't going to be exactly perfect, okay? They're going to be a little bit funky and fun and maybe a little weird. You can have a whole bunch of windows. You could do a whole lot in one. That's fine. I like that. I think it looks good. Okay, so tutors, you can practice this at home very easily with tissue paper. It's not very difficult. Most of us have tissue paper at home. You can just practice with white so you can see what it's like, okay? Remember, you're going to want to make sure they fold them because we do not want them to just create one at a time. We want to do more than one. Okay. And remember to make your parents create some too. The more buildings, the better for when it's time to start gluing them on and arranging how they want their collage to look. I'm making sure, is my camera holding still? Okay, so let's say, so we have this so far and it's getting a little thick, so I'm going to fold this over. Okay, they'll have fun making the mess. I will try to stand out the hall with the vacuum in between classes or a broom, just kind of sweep it all to the side. The good thing about tissue paper is we'll be able to vacuum it up easily, so that won't be difficult. Okay. Obviously, this will go faster for the younger kids, but they'll probably have a harder time deciding where to put theirs and all of that, okay? So if it gets like that, then just tell the student, just cut it up the middle so we can have 2 buildings. Okay? All right, so again, the older kids will create those in class, and then the younger kids will have the pre-cut. All right, so once they have their practice placement, they kind of visualize it, and they slide it up then we will have plates of watered down glue and brushes, and they're going to paint with the glue, the paper. Okay. And then they're going to start putting their buildings on again. And they'll just press it down gently. And it's okay. It'll look, some of it won't stick at first. That's okay. They'll go back with the brush and glue it. Kind of want that one under there. Okay. And then this. All right. And so then you can go back, and any parts that are like on the paper, you tap with the glue. You just tap it down. Okay. All right, so that's the next step. The last step is adding the details. So, because it's a city, you're gonna walk them through. You can even make a list on the board. What would be in a city? We would have signs, we would have bridges, we might have fire hydrants, street lights, okay? Things like that. Again, you can ask them that while they're cutting for the older kids. Oh, cars, okay? Okay, so I think it's great to add a car and just let them use the Sharpie for this. It's okay. It's not gonna look perfect, and if the glue's there, they might not have to wait a minute for that to dry. But add with the Sharpie a car. And again, teach tutors, I want to remind you that you can tell them exactly what to add if you want. That's okay. And then they can add even more after that if you want. So here's a car. I'm going to add a bridge in the background. Okay. Let's say I might have a sign here. What else? Fire hydrant. Okay, so, and that'd be my husband. He's just gonna walk through. There, just say hi, honey.
Hello, honey.
Anyway, so adding the details will be the last part of the project. All right, and there you go. Jacob Lawrence, look him up. Great artist.